introducing first, weighing in at 206 pounds from Plainfield, New Jersey, Ray Chaz.
Well, here's a man that knows how to find himself in predicaments that maybe he doesn't belong in. Ray Chaz issued an open challenge at our last event here in the month of March. It was answered by two men, Rich Swann and Bull James. And I'll give credit to Ray Chaz, a national champion, amateur standout, competitor and coach. He found a way to get that victory. We saw Ray Chaz and Casey Navarro interrupt a matchup with Tony Nese and Buddy Matthews once upon a time.
And his opponent.
Most unique and unorthodox test for the man behind the Jazz tip of the day.
Making his way to the ring at this time, accompanied by Danny Moe, weighing in at 191 pounds. He wanders the streets at night, creeping while you're sleeping. This is the Neon Ninja. He is Facade.
The aerial arsonist has built up quite a resume across the world, not just here throughout the United States, but in countries as far away as India and Malaysia. Facade, a 16-year pro and counting. And he's a bit of an anomaly, man. You don't really see a lot of Neon Ninjas, but he's got that flash, he's got that sizzle, but he's got that stealth-like strategy in combat. As Facade, there you see it, delivering his Facadograph as he tags the ringside fan sign. Should be interesting to see what Facade does here in the battleground with Danny Moe by his side. Team Neon Blondes. Facade has competed all the way up and down Pennsylvania. Ray Chaz, a native of New Jersey. Every time I see Facade, he looks a little bit more cut, a little bit more toned. He's always working on his body, always diligently spending time in the gym and certainly the dojos as well. You can see these warm-up exercises. It speaks to the neck strength. It speaks to the versatility that Facade brings to the table. But he's facing an NCAA All-American. He's facing a man that has a single season win record. A man that's been an academic All-American 3 times, 3.8 GPA, and Facade may not necessarily be the best when it comes to book learning. But Facade has an element of street smarts to him that may be unparalleled amongst at least the vast majority of this locker room. There's a go behind, that rear waistlock takeover by Ray Chaz. Ray Chaz is going to look to keep this thing to the mat. If it's on the ground, it favors Mr. Chaz. And we've seen Chaz hooking up with the likes of Bobby Fish, and we talked earlier about Buddy Matthews and Tony Nese. And certainly the outing Chaz had in March where he defeated Swann and James, biggest of his career, as Facade able to get 2. Facade is someone who is very quick and very unorthodox. He's so difficult to scout. Handful of hair. The official saw it, the official warning Ray Chaz. Those ever apparent dreadlocks of Facade can be a bit of a target. Waistlock again, but Facade counters that time. Able to hang on to the arm, hip lock takeover. And Ray Chaz is able to sidestep it again. Check out that balance. You don't see that just anywhere. Facade has trained in so many different disciplines of fighting styles. Open hand, overhead chop, double spring. Facade takes Jazz over. Facade, a 11th hour replacement for Ricky Reyes. We understand Reyes under the weather. We wish him well. And Ray Jazz had a great strategy there to elude Facade. Jazz put as much distance between his body and Facade's as he possibly could. And Facade lost some of the momentum. We're going to build it back up. Neon Ninja was again looking to fly. And Ray Jazz just starts tucking tail and running. And now Ray Jazz is hiding behind Danny Moe. Unhand her. Ray Jazz took a moment to soak in his intelligence, and Facade makes him pay. Ray Jazz, maybe the last of his lineage at this point, as Facade springs off with a sidekick. We've seen moves like that a time or two before here in this building. And Facade making sure. Ahead of steam, and Facade crashes and burns. All that momentum behind him, and it only serves to blow up in his face. Ray Jazz wants a count out, a most unconventional way to win in this building, but certainly not unprecedented. And if I'm Danny Moe, I'm staying away from Ray Jazz because Ray Jazz wants this win. Ray Jazz is full of himself. Doesn't care how he gets it, and Facade's body bounced. Absolutely bounced off that rig frame. It's where metal meets wood. There's no give there, and Jazz exploiting it. And the harder it is for Facade to move, the more pain that rushes through this man's anatomy, the more that takes away from Facade's offensive palette. And Jazz knows it. A horizontal Facade is a vulnerable Facade when you're Ray Jazz and you know how to hook people in countless submission moves and stretches. A very good suplex. Still, maybe not as good as Ray thought it was, but very good. I don't know if it's possible for Ray Jazz to meet the marks that he views himself at, but there's a count of two. Facade's opportunity is with distance. Oklahoma roll by Jazz. And in one motion, scoops Facade up, dumps him with the max suplex. Nicely done. Will this be all? 2 count only. If Facade can get this matchup back moving, get a quicker tempo, maybe near a rope, Facade's got an opportunity, he's got an opening. But in this situation, it is all about Ray Jazz. Reverse chinlock cinched in. Damage done. Pressure to the carotid artery. Facade wasn't going to stay in that very long. Under the clothesline, and man, you could feel that impact back here by the tech area. As Jazz caught Facade flush with the back elbow. And Ray Jazz, 2 count only, who has made so many of his own opportunities, his own luck. He's forced himself into the spotlight, into the equation. Forced high-level, high-profile opponents to take note of him. And you can see that in many ways it's paid off. Jazz, soaking it in, yucking it up. And Facade out of the way. Jazz was a speeding locomotive by that point. There was nothing he could do except eat either ring post or turnbuckle bolt. Facade now building momentum. And the atomic drop to Ray Jazz. Right to the tailbone, and now inverted style. Facade feeling it here. Matrix style counter. And caught Jazz with a high heel kick. Ray Jazz in a bad way. Facade can feel that momentum swing. Facade, variation, 2 count only, of a Michinoku driver, almost reminiscent of his Arashikage driver. He's finished many people with, has Facade, but not a full-blown version of that move. Action presses on, but you can feel Facade gain some advantage. Oh, Jazz. Ray Jazz hits the ropes and trips Facade up. Northern Light suplex, Jazz bridging with it. Jazz staying with his man, second time, 2 count. Oh. And you can see the stunned shock on the face of Ray Jazz, but if you know the staying power of the Neon Ninja, the Aerosol Assassin, you know it's in that gas tank for Facade. You know what he's made of. Oh, you can see the sweat fly on impact. And Jazz buries the head right to the midsection. And Facade stays a step ahead of Jazz, switches directions. Springboard side round kick connects. But notice Jazz, whether it's instinct or whether it's just sensing that tide turn, Jazz gets himself to the floor. Oh, wait a minute. Jazz has a chair. Eyeing up Danny Moe. She's done nothing wrong. But Danny Moe is fearless. She's going to stand up for herself. Watch Facade. Both feet to the chest. Jazz. Dazed. Facade. Can channel one of his heroes. Facade looking to go air sample with a twist. Memories of extreme nights past come alive in South Philadelphia. Facade looking hyper crush. Facade hooks the leg, but Jazz kicks out. Facade pulling out all stops. Facade was a young man watching many extreme battles here on television, pay-per-view, you name it. Facade can feel that extreme lifeblood in him. As the Neon Ninja looking to soar coast to coast, but Jazz out of the way. And Facade had no one to land on. His tailbone absorbs all the impact. And Jazz, from the backside, the backslide, drives with the legs, and Ray Jazz, the opportunist, wins it.
Your winner of the match, Ray Jazz.
Ray Jazz, the victory. Skin of his teeth comes to mind in that particular outing. It looked like Facade was well on his way to a quite emphatic and bold victory. But Ray Jazz did what Ray Jazz does best. A, he picks his openings, and B, he out-wrestles you. Amateur standout, and the Jazz tip of the day is probably something to do with being able to beat you on the